everyone's doing well and welcome back to another YouTube video. So now, this video is definitely overdue, but the reason I've, sort of finally decided to make it is because I get a lot of, repeating questions from people in the mentorship. I get a lot of, the same sort of things, same sort of topics appearing, right? So I've decided to make this video. And of course, as the title says, the purpose of this video is sort of what's next, right? You've finished the mentorship now. Well, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you finished the mentorship, right? You've watched all the episodes, and now you're here. And what we're going to do today is break it into, three quick parts. And it's based on everyone's understanding, right? Every single person that watches this mentorship will have a different sort of understanding of things. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine because it depends on your background. It depends on how much you've been involved in trading beforehand and how well you picked up on the way I teach specifically. Now, before I get into those three parts, right, I just want to reiterate, right, as it's been made clear throughout, but just, one more time. What I've taught you guys are ICT's concepts. Now, I'm assuming most of you know ICT if you have ended up on my YouTube, but if you don't, ICT is Inner Circle Trader. The concepts I teach you guys, I don't claim to own them. I don't claim to have created them, right? That's all him. All I do is simplify what he teaches because what he teaches sometimes is very long-winded. Some of his videos can be very long. And in terms of teaching his concepts, I personally think there's not a lot of clarity at times. So I've created a simplified course. Now, although this course is comprehensive, it teaches you a lot of different things. I think enough things to be profitable. It's not everything, right? So now that leads me into the three parts. Now the first sort of part, right, per se, is you finish the mentorship and you have practically no understanding, you're very confused. Now, if this is the stage you're at, it's important you sort of determine where the gaps in your knowledge are. Now, it might be as simple as a rewatch of the whole mentorship for you to sort of just understand everything, right? It might be. But if you know your foundational knowledge in trading, if your very, very basics are lacking and you don't understand some very basic things, then potentially you need to revisit something such as Baby Pips. It's a free resource, it's a website to learn the very basics of Forex to start with. And then sort of come to these more advanced concepts and even the beginner playlist I have on my YouTube, right? The second sort of stage is I'll watch the mentorship, understand most of it, don't understand some parts, right? I'm struggling to sort of, put some parts in. That's fine. Again, very similar advice, a rewatch. With when I was learning personally and I was in a mentorship, I was rewatching the episodes several times. Even videos from ICT, I've rewatched several times. It's not always as easy as watch once and you pick everything up. Most of the times it's good to revisit because once you've learned everything and you go back, you will pick up on more things and your understanding will only get better, right? Of course, it's only going to be beneficial for you. Now, the third one is, I've finished the mentorship, right? I understand everything or the majority of things. Where do I go next? So cool. Now that you've finished the education, it is time to apply. I taught you guys the psychology part, the actual application, the execution, everything. So now it's time for you to go ahead and forward test, right? You want to create a strategy, you want to create a model, and you want to use that in the lifetime markets. You want to test that strategy, you want to get, confident with it. Now, what I say to people usually, a good gauge of this, right? Because the purpose of the mentorship is to help people get funded, particularly, right? What I say is to emulate a funded environment, sign up to a demo account with a broker, for example, I don't know, grab a 100k account and enforce the rules of a funded account on yourself. So now what do these rules usually entail? They entail something such as make 8% within a 30-day time window. You can't lose more than 10% overall. Let's say you can't lose more than 5% in a day. These are the rules you enforce on yourself. And then you do it 3 times, right? Maybe you don't pass your first time, you pass your second time. Then you do it again and again. And then when you're confident, you go and do the real thing. right? And I know that might sound long to some of you, but it's not long in the grand scheme of things, trust me. That's the best way to do it. Put yourself in the environment that you're going to be in, prepare yourself, and then go do the real thing, right? So cool. Now, if you're, still at this stage, you finish the content, things make sense, but something's just not clicking, it doesn't make sense. What I would recommend here is getting a possible private mentorship. Now, I myself, I run a private mentorship, right? It's £45 a month. It's which translates to about 57 US dollars. Now, in that private mentorship, I offer one-to-one Zooms. That's my sort of biggest thing. This allows me to sort of tailor the help to the individual's needs. I really break down the parts where somebody might be struggling to help them sort of get to the next level in their trading to actually become profitable, right? Now, that's my mentorship. You don't have to come to my mentorship, right? This is not a selling point. If I was a person trying to sell my mentorship, I would have put it inside every single video. The reason I'm leaving it here is because, it's genuinely for people that are struggling, that have, put the effort in and they want to get to the next level, but they don't know where to go next. They need that extra bit of guidance. That's what the hope is for. Now, there are also other mentorships out there. You can ask me. I can recommend a few people firsthand. But, of course, if you're going to look into mentorships, it's always best to do your own research. Make sure the person's actually someone who knows what they're doing. They have a bit of experience. They have skin in the game. Of course, they're profitable. They have proved to show for it, right? Now, that's the sort of next step in terms of mentorships. I will continue to make more YouTube content that will help you guys, but I know, with the YouTube content, with the videos, they're sometimes very broad and they won't answer each individual's issue specifically, and that is where the mentorships can help, and they can help you get that last push, right? Now, some of you may not like that idea, that's fine. The mentorships, usually what they do, right, not just mine, but other people's good mentorships, what they do is they accelerate the learning curve. They just shorten your learning curve. Some of you may have heard of the phrase pay to win, right? You get in games, you pay a bit of money, you get, the game's currency, things progress faster for you. That's sort of what you're doing with the mentorship, right? As long as you join the right mentorship ties. So that is why I'm recommending it, right? If, you're on it, you're willing to learn, you have the money, right, and you're going to put the effort in, then it's definitely something for you. But of course, that's for all of you to gauge, is that the next step I want to do. Now, if you choose not to do this, that's also fine. Like I said, it may take you slightly longer to, sort of work with things, but I'm sure if you put in enough effort, because people have done that, you will work things out eventually. With trading, the sort of last thing I'll leave you guys on is it can take a bit of time. It's not overnight, it's not quick. Now, although I said we can accelerate the learning curve, the actual journey to profitability, it usually comes down to individual. The last roadblock from the majority of people that I've encountered is psychology. And not a lot of people can help you with psychology. It's usually a very, very individual battle to sort of, build that discipline and lead yourself to profitability by controlling your emotions and impulses. But it's one that's very rewarding once you finally figure it out, right? So it is worth it in the end. That is, sort of it for this video. And if you guys do have any questions, whether it's about the mentorship, whether it's about what should I go do next, where can I find more content even, right? One more thing I will add, like I said, it's always good to revisit content. You guys can move on to watching ICT content. You'll see everything I've taught, he only cements that. He explains it potentially in more detail sometimes, gives you better, lifetime examples. And the way I've taught it is exactly how you will find it in his teachings, right? Just the way I've done it is slightly simpler. That is definitely something you can do. You can check his Twitter, he's pretty active on there. And he constantly pushes content. He's even doing 2023 YouTube mentorship, which might be interesting for some of you to watch. Slightly more advanced, but if you have been studying for a while, if you have been running through the content, then you may be able to grasp it, you will like it. So definitely have a look at that too, guys. But that is it for this video. If you guys do have any questions, you can just contact me on any of my socials as usual, and I'll be happy to help.